you ever just stopped and wondered, how does a company worth trillions of dollars actually work? I mean, we see the headlines, we use their products every single day. But what's really going on inside? How does an engine that massive actually run? Well, today, we're going to find out.
See, the secret is hiding in plain sight. It's in a document they have to file with the government every 3 months. It's called a 10Q, and for us, it's an all-access pass. Now, it's mostly pages of dense legal and financial jargon, but if you know where to look, it tells you the real story. And today, we're taking it apart, piece by piece. So, we've gone through Alphabet's official first quarter report for 2025 and pulled out all the key details to really understand the financial puzzle of one of the most powerful companies on Earth. Let's dive in. All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with a high-level report card, the big numbers. Then we'll crack open the Google Money Machine to see where the cash really comes from. After that, we'll look at the incredible rise of Google Cloud. We'll also see where they're spending billions to build the future, navigate the pretty serious legal storms they're facing, and finally, wrap it all up with what this means for investors.
Okay, first up, the big picture. How did Alphabet actually do in the first 3 months of 2025? Let's check out the headline numbers. Right off the bat, you can see this machine is just humming along. Total revenue, that's all the money coming in the door, jumped from about $80.5 billion last year to over $90 billion this year. That's a 12% jump. For a company of this size, that is just staggering. It shows you the business isn't just massive, it's still growing like crazy. But here's where it gets really nuts. This is what's left after all the bills are paid. Pure profit. And it didn't just grow, it exploded. From under $24 billion to almost $35 billion. This isn't just a healthy company, it's an unbelievably profitable one. So the question is, where is all that money coming from?
So let's follow the money. To really get it, it kind of helps to think of Alphabet as a family with a few different businesses. And we're about to see which kid is paying all the bills.
And yep, this chart tells the whole story, doesn't it? Look at that giant blue slice, over $77 billion. That's Google Services. Think Search, YouTube, Android. Then you've got Google Cloud, which is impressive, but way smaller. And that tiny little sliver, that's Other Bets, the moonshot projects. It is crystal clear that one part of this family is supporting everybody else. Okay, let's zoom in on that big blue slice for a second. Because even inside the main Google business, there's a king. And it's not even close. That first bar, Google Search, brought in almost $51 billion. I mean, YouTube ads are a huge business at almost $9 billion, but Search just dwarfs everything. For all the talk about AI and cloud computing, the absolute core of this entire empire is still just us typing questions into a search bar. But while Search pays today's bills, Alphabet is betting huge on what's going to pay tomorrow's bills. And that brings us to the company's rising star, Google Cloud. And a growth story here is, wow. Just look at these numbers. In 1 year, cloud revenue jumped 28% to over $12 billion. But check out that second line. That's its profit. It more than doubled, from $900 million to over $2 billion. This is huge. It proves that Google Cloud isn't just getting bigger, it's becoming a seriously profitable business all on its own. It's the second engine they've been trying to build for years, and it is firing on all cylinders. Okay, so making all this money is one thing, but what are they doing with it? As we're about to see, they are spending absolutely astronomical sums of money to stay ahead. Seriously, this is the key question, right? You've got nearly $35 billion in profit in just 3 months. Where do you even put all that cash? Well, it turns out a huge chunk of it goes right back into the business, at a scale that's kind of hard to wrap your head around. First, you have R&D, $13.5 billion in a single quarter. This is the cash that pays for tens of thousands of brilliant engineers to invent what's next for Google. And then there's this number, which is even bigger, $17.2 billion on what they call capital expenditures. This is money for actual physical stuff, the nuts and bolts of the empire. So, what are they buying? Well, the 10Q tells us exactly why. They are building enormous new data centers and just stuffing them full of servers and networking gear. And the report says it loud and clear. A huge driver for this is building the infrastructure to power artificial intelligence. This isn't just routine spending. This is a colossal bet that AI is the future of, well, everything.
But not all the spending is on the sure thing. Remember that tiny little other bets slice of the pie? Well, those projects actually lost $1.2 billion this quarter. That's the cost of swinging for the fences in areas like healthcare. It's the price you pay to try and find the next Google.
So while Alphabet is spending billions to build its future, there are some really powerful forces trying to rein it in. And that brings us to one of the biggest risks facing the company, a full-blown legal and regulatory war on a global scale.
And this didn't just happen overnight. This timeline really shows how the pressure has been building. It started with huge fines in Europe years ago, but now the main event has moved to the US. The Department of Justice filed a landmark case against Google Search back in 2020. And just last year, a US court actually ruled against the company. Now, here in 2025, the stakes have never been higher.
So here are the three big fronts in that war right now. The DOJ search case is the monster. The court is deciding on the penalty, and the 10Q admits it could force major business changes. Then you have the ad tech cases, which threaten the whole system for placing ads online. And over on Europe, they have this powerful new law, the Digital Markets Act, and they're already using it to launch new investigations. These legal risks aren't in the rearview mirror. They are dead ahead. So you've got this incredible growth, massive spending, and this huge legal storm. What does it all mean for the people who actually own a piece of the company, the shareholders? How do they get paid?
Well, the main way is through stock buybacks. Alphabet spent over $15 billion in just 3 months buying its own stock. What that does is reduce the total number of shares out there, which makes every share that's left just a little bit more valuable. It's a direct and massive return of cash to investors. And for the first time ever, Alphabet is doing this, paying a dividend. This is just straight cash sent to every single shareholder every single quarter. It's another clear signal that this company is so profitable, it can spend billions on AI, fight legal battles around the world, and still have tons of cash left over to hand right back to its owners.
And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? We've seen a company that's absolutely firing on all cylinders, powered by that search money machine, using that cash to build the future of cloud and AI. But we've also seen these massive storm clouds of regulation gathering from all sides. The big tension is clear. As the cost of AI goes up and regulators try to break up the businesses of the past, can this incredible money machine keep printing? The answer is going to define the next chapter, not just for Alphabet, but for all of us.